Welcome back, bullshitters. Welcome to episode number 28 at the Bullshit Machine. Yours truly, Tommy Kennedy here. Today, I'm going to get right into it, straight into it, because this is a podcast, or this is one of those episodes where I know that the stuff that I'm going to talk about is quite relevant to me, and so quite often I just do podcasts to give myself a little kick up the butt, and I just keep talking about it, and then I know that I just remind myself of what really needs to happen. But the what we're sort of going into today, and what we're looking at is how to combat CantBeFuckedness. And this is a huge area for me that I've sort of had to really deal with over the last 44 years of being alive. Ever since I was a kid, and it's a painful experience for me. And I'm sure there's quite a few others out there that experience this, that when you go and when you have something to do, uh, it could be anything. When you have stuff to do that is going to be of benefit to your life, and it's going to be of benefit to you moving forward, or transitioning, and you go to do it, and the moment you go to do it, there's just all these excuses. And actually, you know what, there's probably not even excuses. You just don't do it because you can't be fucked. And it's fucking painful, man. Like, I know I'm saying this about me, because I know that there's so many things in life that I just want to get done, and it just feels like that something is stopping me, and that something is when I really look into it, that something that stops me is that I don't really have a certain gotcha. I don't have a certain thing that says, Tommy, you know what? If you do this, you're going to yield these results. And so then, because the motivation in me isn't strong enough, or the will isn't strong enough, unless I know that I'm going to yield some sort of result, I just, a lot of the times I just don't do it. And it's just heartbreaking, because in those moments when I don't do something, it almost like it breaks my fucking heart, because in that moment, I know that I should be doing stuff. I know that I should be taking care of things in my life. I know that I should be taking action towards the things that I actually want to create in my life. And there's all this excitement, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then when it comes to the crunch, I don't do it. And look, I don't know if you resonate to any of this, but I'm sure if you're still listening, then the words that I've said have landed with you. And I think the reason that they've landed with you is because you're listening to this, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, that's pretty much me, and so there's a a real step by step process on how to move through this, and this works for me probably 50% of the time, and the other 50% of the time I buy into my I can't be fuckness. But what I've realized is that you never, in the moment where you get to that point where you tell yourself you can't be fucked, or you say I'll do it tomorrow, or whatever other bullshit thing that you have, it's like, it's almost, I almost look at myself and go, and I'll get embarrassed, because it's just like, why would you not do it? Why? What are you fucking scared of, Tom? And there'll probably be quite a bit of swearing in this episode, because that's how I find that with myself when I do self-talk, it really lands. And obviously I do a lot of self-talk, and I've used these platforms like my podcast and other stuff pretty much just to talk to myself, and then others obviously start to relate, as you can see. So yeah, you get to this point of just landing in where you get this choice of, am I going to do it or am I not going to do it? And you're landing in this place. And this would happen with you because it happens with me at least 5 or 6 times a day, you know. But what I found is when you actually sit down or you stand up or whatever the action is and you take action, then in the time of actually taking action, you're already doing it, and it creates this flow on effect. It creates this thing where once you're in, you know, and it's exactly the same as not doing it, because once you don't do it, then it also creates this flow on effect of the next moment coming and you're not doing it, you know. I hope that makes sense. But how interesting is that you know, once you actually just step in and you go for it and you start doing stuff and you're taking action, then it does. It creates this flow on effect and things happen. And then, you know, one moment brings the next moment and then the next moment brings the next moment. And before you know it, you've actually totally completed the task or the action or you've gone way further than what you ever imagined for yourself to do, you know. And you know what? Perfect example tonight. It's Sunday night at the moment, and you know, as you know, I'm committed to putting out a podcast each Monday, and it's what time is it? It's like 8:15 on Sunday night, and I was just sitting on the couch, and I'm like, oh, I just can't be fucked. I, I can't be bothered doing this episode. You know, I can't be bothered, and I'm just not going to do it. And you know, and I just sat there and I went, Tom, you idiot! Like, have a look at your notes. What is this podcast about that you're doing today? You've mapped it out and you've done it. Well, I haven't mapped it out, but you know, I've written the headlines and whatnot, and it said to me, the words read back. It said combating. What are the words? Wait, let me check this. Combating. Oh, how to combat can't be fuckness, and that straight away got me up because I became observant about the fact that that you know I couldn't be bothered doing this podcast. And what did I do? I went, that is cool. I'm going to come in here, come into my study, get GarageBand going, get Zoom going, and you know, get myself rocking and start talking about this stuff. So what we're going to go through in this episode is a number of different ways that I use to set myself up for success of just getting it done, you know. And so the first thing is that usually what I'll do is I'll take notes about what I must get done during the week. You know, what is it that I have to get done that week? And I make a note of it. I take notes, and I usually have a list of you know 5 or 10 things that during this week I have to get done, and I put them down on paper, and I usually only put the things on there that I know that I have resistance towards. You know, the things that you can get done, you get done anyway, and you're comfortable doing it. Don't worry about that because you're going to get those things done anyway. But put down 5 or 10 things on paper, and I'm talking ink to actual paper, recycled paper. So you know. Put 5 or 10 things down that you have resistance towards, but if you got those things done, you'd be like, I've had a bloody good week. You know, I've had an awesome week, and you put that down on paper, and then you know I even go as far with me because I need to do this, but you may not. Look, if you're still listening, I reckon you might need to do this. Is that once I've got those 5 or 10 things, I actually pick up my phone and I'll go to my diary in calendar or whatever, and I actually put in there, you know, 1 or 2 hour slots to get this stuff done, and which is exactly what I did with the podcast tonight. If you can, actually, you know what? If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see. I'm just going to show you right there that says podcast at whatever time that is, 7:30. Yeah. And then it's also got in there brush, chili, and wind down after my podcast. But anyway, um, so so guys, look, that's the first thing is just, you gotta get it out of your head, and it seems quite simple, doesn't it? But no one does this, and it's so simple. It's just like, get it out, make sure it's pen to paper, because energetically there's a definite connection between ink that hits the paper, and you'll find that you'll find a huge difference if you do that compared to writing it in your laptop or whatever. And then put in your diary, chuck it in your diary, and then when it pops up as a reminder, then just step in, get it done, and that's how that's two of the ways. We'll get more, but there's two of the ways how you can combat can't be fuckedness, right? So moving on, the best thing I find is once you actually get it done, as you're doing it, there's this sense of excitement that builds in you because you're moving forward. There's this sense of almost even urgency that lands in the body, because it's like, oh my god, how cool! I'm actually doing this, and I'm moving with it, and and I can see things unfolding, and so then as you start to get things done in the first week, right? And you start to move, then it just becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. But also another key aspect that I find is that, especially on Monday mornings, I have to I have to set myself up for the week. So on a Monday morning, I make sure that I do some form of physical work. I do some form of some form of physical, like a workout, whether it's, I go for a run, or I do yoga practice, or I do breathing. My God, I love breathing. I'm really loving Wim Hof breath at the moment, guys. Not sure if you've ever done it or whatnot, but I'm loving my Wim Hof breathing. And you know what? Before the episode is out, we might even do a round of Wim Hof breath. That could be cool, because that, we'll do one or two rounds, yeah, because it Wim Hof breath, when you work with this breathing technique, it creates this experience in you where it's like you're flushing out all of the toxins, and you're flushing out all of the mental clutter. And so I try and get the Wim Hof stuff done every single day, but usually I'll get it done maybe at least 5 times a week. Yeah. So Monday mornings, you've got to get some form of physical practice, and even with your physical practice, whether it's yoga, running, whatever, put it in your diary, and it'll pop up, and you'll be like, I can't be fucked, and then you just get it done. But in terms of mentally, guys, in terms of behavior, and in terms of really understanding the behavior behind the fact that you can't be fucked, the can't be fuckedness is actually just living on the surface. The can't be fuckness is absolutely living on the surface, and what's actually underneath that is that there is a fear in you that you might fail, or there's a fear in you that you might be flawed, and that and that if you actually take action on something and it doesn't work out, then it'll just prove to you that you're a failure, and you should never have done it. And the thing is, it's just not true, because every single time you get something done and you take action on something, and you just dive into the uncomfort of doing stuff, then there's always going to be some form of a win. There's always going to be some form of a pat on the back. There's always going to be something there that happens with you that will feel like you've moved away from where you were when you couldn't be fucked, and you moved closer to a place where you're feeling you're feeling committed, you're feeling like things are happening, you're feeling that there's movement, there's flow. And so you've got to get it done, and that is the number one. The number one tool is literally to understand that in terms of behavior, it's it's not you that can't be fucked. It's the what can't be fucked is the fear inside you. That's what can't be fucked. It's this thing inside you that is so fearful and so scared about fucking it up, and this happens on an unconscious level, and this part of you is fearful and scared that if you fail, people are going to find out. So look, a perfect example is at the moment I'm really getting this I'm really getting this guidance at the moment to do a weekly live on Instagram, and I've been thinking about it for months, and I haven't done anything about it because what if I look underneath it on the surface, the fear, it's not even I can't be fucked. I want to do it, but it is but I never do. But on the surface, which replaces the can't be fucked bit, is that I'm saying to myself, well, what if you do it, Tommy, and four people, come to your Instagram lives? Like, how embarrassing would that be? But then at the end of the day, who cares how many people rock up? But regardless of that, what's happening underneath that is that there's a part of me that's thinking that I don't have any valuable wisdom to offer people, and that's what it is underneath it. I don't have any wisdom inside me to be of service or to offer the world, and so then I don't do anything about it, so I just sort of sit back and just think about it, even though there's all these ideas about what I could do, and I've got this idea of just having, like, literally going live on Instagram on a whatever day, Saturday or Sunday or whatever, every single week, just for 10-20 minutes, and then just speaking to random people and talking to them about just random shit, and not even planning. It's just like, if someone pops up, I'll invite them to the chat and we just start talking about life, or we start talking about whatever. And I reckon it's cool. I reckon it's a good idea, and I want to do it because now that I've put it on this podcast, I've got to do it because I know if I don't, someone else is going to steal it and it's going to piss me off. So if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, that's a good idea, fuck no, it's mine. So you leave that alone. Just kidding. I mean, you can do it if you want, but just do it in a whole other country. That was rude. You know what? If you think it's a good idea, you go for it, and put your essence to it and see what happens. But yeah, so yeah, good experience there. Not experience, but good example there. And that's something I'm going to put in my diary for this week. I'm going to write that down. So I guess, I mean, if you're listening to this, and you're going to come to Instagram live, I'll probably do it Saturday or Sunday. My God, I've just committed to something that's not good, because now I actually have to stick to it. Holy shit. Well, there we go. So I'm going to be doing that. Yeah. And then where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So yeah, another perfect example is around that. So guys, it's cool. These episodes, it's like you have a listen, and you there's always some golden nuggets there, isn't there? And I know that there is. If you've listened this far, then there's definitely been some golden nuggets there for you. And it could just be the fact that when you hear me talking, it gives you some sort of insight into yourself, and it gives you some form of um, courage to look deeper into yourself, because as you can tell, my the way that I grow is I just keep digging, and I keep digging, and when I find something else about me that I don't like, then I have to bring it to the surface. And it's not about, I don't want to fix it, I don't want to do anything about it. It's just about bringing it to the surface, because I know once it comes to the surface and I can observe it, then it's a neutralized aspect of me, and I can go for my, my ultimate goal and ultimate vision and my end results, knowing that whatever I'm digging for and whatever's come to the surface has been found out. Because if you don't find it out, then it's going to be unconsciously there, stopping you. So, look, that's the key. And I did say, should we do Wim Hof breath? Yeah, you know what? Let's just do one round of Wim Hof breath, and it's a good breathing. And look, I've actually got the Wim Hof um I've got the Wim Hof app, and it's so good. So if you guys don't have that, he literally guides you through as many times as you want, and it's a super super powerful practice. And so you could even push pause and then do this when you get home or something. Obviously, if you're driving or whatever, then don't do this right now. But maybe push pause and do this. Do this when you get home, or if you forget or don't do it, then just download the Wim Hof app, and he's got the whole thing on there. But you know what? If you are at home and you've joined me, we're going to do one round of Wim Hof breathing, and everyone does it in a different way. But basically, what we're doing is we're taking 30 breaths in and out through the mouth. And then after the 30th breath, and sometimes I actually do 40, but for the purposes of this podcast, we're going to do 30. And then on the last breath, you just sort of let the breath go. And you're just like, you let the breath go and you hold the exhale for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. I might just do a minute for this podcast. But yeah, I mean, the more you do it on each one, when you push the breath out, you can actually hold it up to 3 or 4 minutes or more. My record's about 3 minutes 30, and that usually happens after the fourth or fifth round. So, okay, let's do this. So we're going to take 30 breaths. So the best way to do it is not sitting down. It's actually lying down. So lie down onto your back, lie down to a couch or the bed or something like that. Make sure you got um, no, you don't have any interruptions for the next just 3 or 4 minutes, and you're lying down, and we're just going to go for this. So let's see what happens. Yeah, just follow along. And by the way, this is on YouTube too. So if you want to get it on YouTube and watch it there, just get to the end of the video, and you'll see what's going on. But either way, let's get this done. So we'll take 30 breaths in and out through the mouth. Last breath, we just let it go. Hold the exhale for about a minute, and then we will take a big breath in and hold that for 15 seconds, but I'll guide you through. So let's do let me just set up my timer. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, cool. All right, guys, so we're going to do 30 breaths in and out through the mouth. Ready? All right, let's go. Relax your shoulders. You're lying down. You just listen to my voice. Let's go. We're at 10. Five more. All right, for that, one more breath in. And just let the breath go. Close your lips and just hold the breath out. holding the breath out. We're at like 25 seconds, and you'll start to feel some buzzing around the shoulders, some buzzing around the heart and the nose and the teeth. Just let that buzz be and just imagine that your heart rate is dropping, 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 dropping. 15 seconds to go. 5 more seconds. And after 5 seconds, we'll take a big inhale through the mouth or the nose. So let's go and hold the breath in for 15 seconds. Let's go. Hold. And let go of the breath. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. Nice. So if you just did that with me, you definitely feel how clear you become. And guys, even with that as you go to do it, there'll be a part of you that before you do it, you'll be like, can't be fucked. But it's so powerful. So anyway, that's me for today. It's been a super enjoyable 27 minutes and 31 seconds. And well, that's what it is on GarageBand. This might be different. Who knows? But yeah, guys, super honored. And yeah, so I guess I'll see you next week. But yeah, if you're watching me on YouTube, then please subscribe. I love you. If you are listening on Spotify or the Apple Podcast app, then please even write me a review. Like, how cool would that be if you just write me a review? I would love that, from my heart to yours. So thank you guys. And yeah, rock on. I'll see you next week. Lots of love, guys. Well done.